Farmers are watching crops die. Cities are running dry. One river system feeds 90% of Pakistan's agriculture, and it's controlled upstream by a nuclear-armed rival. This is one of the most dangerous water conflicts on Earth, and the treaty holding it together is breaking down. In Sindh province, during the dry summer wheat and cotton sowing season, irrigation canals frequently run completely empty. Downstream farmers face a compounding crisis of drought, aging brick-lined channels, waterlogging, and poor regional water management that causes them to miss vital watering cycles. To save their crops, many resort to pumping groundwater, but this secondary supply is heavily salinized, poisoning the soil. In the major cities, the water situation is equally severe. In Lahore, municipal water officials report that the local aquifer is dropping by over 2 feet annually due to unchecked urban growth and weak cost recovery. The city's underground supply is heavily contaminated by untreated wastewater, forcing residents to rely on dwindling, unsafe wells with falling pressure. These regional shortages are driven by complex local factors, from dilapidated infrastructure to seasonal drought, making it mathematically impossible to attribute individual farm losses directly to upstream construction. Yet the collective impact is devastating. Reports show that 90% of Pakistan's food production depends on Indus irrigation as a baseline. When canals fail, it triggers immediate food pressure, lost income, and forced rural migration. This is a direct threat to national survival. You can't eat sanctions. You can't farm without water. This regional crisis is bound to a single physical system, the Indus River Basin. Descending from the glaciers of the Karakoram, Hindu Kush, and Himalayas, the basin is driven by 6 primary rivers: the Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej. Hydrological records show that roughly 85% of this annual discharge is concentrated between July and October. While ICIMOD estimates that 268 million people reside directly within the basin, their assessments show up to 1.5 billion people across China, India, and Pakistan rely on its waters indirectly. It is one interconnected transboundary system where upstream and downstream nations share the water, but lack equal control over its timing. On September 19, 1960, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and President Ayub Khan signed the Indus Waters Treaty, mediated by the World Bank. India gained unrestricted use of the eastern rivers, the Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej, allowing for projects like the Bakra Nangal, Pang, and Ranjit Sagar dams. Pakistan received rights to the western rivers, the Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab. Here, India is restricted. It cannot build large reservoirs, but may construct run-of-river hydropower plants, generating electricity without consuming or permanently storing the water. The Permanent Indus Commission manages routine data exchange, while an escalation ladder handles disputes, bilateral talks, neutral experts, and international arbitration. This framework has kept water separate from military fronts for decades, heading toward its 75th anniversary in 2035. But with the treaty breaking down under modern strain, it struggles to hold back one of the most dangerous water conflicts on Earth. Pakistan fears India's cumulative upstream projects will allow New Delhi to manipulate the timing of dry season flows. Key disputes include the Baglihar Dam over pondage and spillway designs, the Kishanganga project over water diversion, and ongoing disagreements at the Ratleh site. While India maintains that each individual project complies with treaty limits, Pakistan worries about their collective impact. In extreme scenarios, some assessments suggest these upstream installations could reduce downstream dry season flows by up to 40% during critical low-flow weeks, turning a technical debate into a national security crisis. The physical system is fracturing. In the high peaks, rising temperatures alter the timing of glacier-fed runoff. Rapid melting temporarily swells the rivers, masking the threat before long-term ice loss permanently cuts dry season flows. At the same time, ongoing population growth drives demand higher. To survive, communities rely on groundwater, but satellite data from 2003 to 2016 reveals aquifers dropping by roughly 2 feet every year. This massive extraction is a temporary shield, concealing surface shortages while guaranteeing future vulnerability. Current assessments show Pakistan has already crossed the Falcon Mark water stress threshold, leaving millions in absolute scarcity. With diplomatic channels frozen, this resource strain is no longer just a local crisis, but a case of climate change, accelerating collapse across a highly volatile border. The fragile peace across this border was first tested in April 1948, when an Indian water cutoff to West Punjab irrigation canals sparked an immediate interstate crisis. While subsequent wars in 1965, 1971, and the 1999 Kargil conflict were driven by territorial and political rivalries, rather than water, the security environment has fundamentally transformed. The Stockholm International Peace Research Institute Yearbook 2026 estimates India possesses approximately 190 nuclear warheads, and Pakistan holds 170. Neither state has a public military doctrine linking water scarcity to nuclear launch. Yet, acute resource depletion alters the strategic calculus. Severe water shortages turn minor border incidents, sudden diplomatic ultimatums, or routine troop movements into existential threats, drastically raising the stakes of any military signal. In June 2026, the primary diplomatic buffer fractured. India suspended hydrological data sharing and paused meetings of the Permanent Indus Commission, leaving the historic treaty breaking down under modern geopolitical strain. This dispute behaves differently than crises over oil. Unlike energy reserves, which nations can store or trade, crops require water in a specific place and at a precise time. When the river system fails, agricultural and urban survival are threatened instantly. This absolute physical dependency makes a single river system more immediate to national security than a nuclear arsenal. The downstream fallout lands directly on the dry canals of Sindh and the dropping aquifers of Lahore. If regional hardships fuel public anger, the resulting pathway moves rapidly from legal confrontation to military signaling. While nuclear war is not inevitable, researchers project a severe resource crisis scenario within 20 years. This remains one of the most dangerous water conflicts on Earth, with climate change accelerating collapse across a divided basin. Could water scarcity trigger the first climate-driven war between nuclear powers? As the climate shifts, the Indus is no longer just a river, it is a countdown. In this dry future, the greatest threat to peace isn't weapons, but thirst. Subscribe for more geopolitical analysis.